Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live order flow analysis webinar. Good morning, traders. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we'll go through any market that you guys want to look at that we can connect to for stocks, futures, and cryptocurrencies. Most of you guys want to look at the S&P, so that's what we cover. So let's jump in here and take a quick look here at S&P and see what's going on. And we can see that pretty choppy in here, back and forth. And here's our cash open, move to the upside, move to the downside, a double bottom here, turning into a double top up here. It's kind of all over the place in here. Yeah, we'll take a look at the bigger picture here. Try to understand what's going on, and then go over the order flow in here as well. However, first, before I do that, let's go through the disclosures. And then also another thing I want to cover with you guys. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, and let's go into the other thing I want to show you is our Black Friday sale. So just go to bookmap.com and you'll see it right here, right on the front page here. There's two different Black Friday sales that we're offering, and for a bunch of different kinds of users as well. If you're new to Bookmap, or you previously used Bookmap, or you're a current Bookmap subscriber, these deals can apply. So offer runs November 23rd through the 28th, so we only have until tomorrow. If you're interested in it, just click on grab the deal now right here, and that'll take you to this page. Okay, so it goes into more detail what the deal is about. All right, so the first one here, Global Plus for 3 months. You can get 50% off. This deal is available to new subscribers to Bookmap, the digital or free version subscribers, and then also current Bookmap monthly subscribers. If you subscribe monthly here, why not try it for 3 months and get 50% off? All right, you can see that this section here applies to the section below here in more detail, and the 3 different users that I just covered. This one over here, new to Bookmap here, then you can get for the first month only, you get a discount of 60%. This is available to new subscribers to Bookmap, digital free version subscribers, as well as previous Bookmap subscribers. Okay, so you can also get it here. Scroll down a little bit further here, and it covers the details for the different users, brand new users and digital and previous paid subscribers here. You will have to use the coupon code in here if you're interested in this monthly discount. Okay, FAQs are down below here as well. All right, so let's jump back here into the order flow and go through some of the details in here. Okay, so well, what are we seeing? It is a hard read right now. I mean, look at this range from around 7 o'clock this morning, East Coast time. So the last 3 hours, we've been in a pretty tight range in here. It's been well, about 10 points, which is actually pretty normal for the S&P. But look at the volume within the range. Look at the order flow, these limit buy and sell orders within this range. And you can see that it's really kind of all over the place here. We have high liquidity up in here, okay, above the range. At the cash open, it trades right up into it. And then we see a move right back down and below the range here. And then we see there was previously high liquidity here, but they really start to come in here after somewhere around 9:35 or so. They really start to come into the order book here. So let's hold on a minute. Let me get to the chat Here we go. All right. Yep. Good morning, everybody. Sorry about the being late in here. It's been meeting after meeting this morning, so okay. Jack is getting back to us here on the any questions you guys had on. We talked about first principles last webinar. Okay, and we talked about it in detail here. Jack is also mentioning it here in Discord. So yeah, anyway, we can cover that today again as well. But we really dove down deep into what is the market all about. I mean, the first principles, what makes up the market. And we went through this maybe for some of you in excruciating detail here. And maybe it was review. Maybe it was the first time you ever heard this kind of information. So it's really, really good to get your feedback on this. So yeah, let me know. It's oh, Caddy, you're also you're asking for a pullback and long idea. Well, not right now. I mean, I am not seeing any edge in here at all. You know, it's let's just look and lean on this order flow in here. What is it telling us? What are the participants telling us here? This is the beauty of using order flow and reading it here in Bookmap. I'm not reading much at all. They're not telling me much at all. This range here seems to be the only thing that is telling us. I mean, look at the strong volume here, and then look at even more volume on the way back down. But here we have liquidity down here. What's the context? What's the relationship? Well, we see that we got a double bottom here. We did not break the low. And then we see buyers come back in. And we see not the strongest buy volume in here. Okay, we're talking about relative volume in here. And this is important. This is what we talk about in our strategies and setups in here. The relative volume. Okay. Right. So the relative volume here. Okay. Now look at those, and then look at this over here. And then now let's compare all of that to the relative sell volume. Okay, little pockets in here, and they're just starting to pick up right now. Okay, you know, I would say there's probably a little bit more selling than buying is what it kind of looks like in here, especially due to this move here. Right, so perhaps this is the defining move right now. We are still in this range though, so we see that there's more sellers now coming in, right? So I'm not looking for a long actually. A caddy, and this is not a trade recommendation. It's just reading the order flow and trying to understand the majority of the players in here. To me, it looks like we're going to come back down here and retest this area here due to what we just mentioned, relative volume starting to pick up, right? Okay, now that context again is super important. It's all about this context. You know, we just traded into high liquidity here. So, and it looks like it transacted. So what happens after that? Are we seeing that there's more, you know, buyers now starting to come in after they bought here on the bid? And I'm not seeing them right now, right? So here they come. Now we're starting to get it. But again, relative volume, right? So we're looking for maybe a retest back here. Or we can also look at our structure, diagonal structure in here. So a retest back up into here would be the next thing I'd be looking for. Okay. All right. Jump back here. Any other comments? No. Yeah, sorry, Rob, I was a bit late in here. But the like I said, meeting after meeting, and trying to jump into these markets and the order flow as well. Not a lot of data this week, so it's end of the month, and that's very, very typical. So one of the things that we didn't talk too much about this on Friday about first principles. There's kind of different levels of first principles, in my opinion. What we talked about is what moves the market. And we talked about what makes up a market. What is the first principle here of making a market? That you need orders. If you don't have orders, you don't have a market. So you need buyers and sellers, and they participate via orders. Okay, so and there's two different. Well, we're going to cover two different types of participants in here. Those that are aggressors that want in immediately and will hit the market buy button or the market sell button. That's when they cross the spread and the transaction occurs on the next best bid or offer. And then you have the other party that is making that transaction together with you. They are taking the other side of the trade. So if you hit market buy, well, then you're saying, like, I want in no matter what the price is, but I want in right now. And you look at the best offer, and you see that the best offer is one spread here. So okay, then you get filled with that best offer. Okay, and then that's that. We covered this in detail, like I said, on Friday, looking for some order flow right now, and the drop right into this 60 here, just due to, there we go. I know that was really quick, guys, but again, it's reading the order flow in here. It starts to tell us something at specific points. Okay, that's really all we can do. Anyway, we were covering the transactions that occur in here, and first principles. The other thing that makes up the market or makes the market move is the news. Okay, so there's different players in here. Now, the core first principle is very simple. It is orders. It doesn't matter if it's news. It doesn't matter if it's an algo. It doesn't matter anything. All it matters is the market is open and that there are orders. So that's it, right? That is truly the first principle. Now, there's a kind of if we go into kind of second layer, layers of the onion here after that, then one of the biggest drivers in the market is news. A news event occurs, and the markets are perceived differently by the participants, and their actions will be reflected by their orders. One of the best ways to show that is, let's see, one is the market cash open here, and other is actual data releases, okay, or news events, especially the scheduled news events. And I don't really have anything to show here, but we know that when those events come out, we see the liquidity dry up typically, and we get some volatility due to exactly that first principle. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions on that. We can go over it if you guys like. Good morning, trading for a living. All right. And let's see, anything else in here? No other comments in the all markets chat in Discord. Okay. All right, so that we did get that move into 60 and below. It actually went down here to about 57 3/4, and That's what Caddy, that's what we were looking for, right? We're not looking for long in here. And it was just do the process we went through. And let me know if you have any questions on that. That's really important. It's precisely what we went through here. And that's how you can read the order flow. Okay. Sometimes it happens on a higher time frame. Sometimes it happens on lower time frames. In these webinars in here, we'll go through as many as we can on all time frames and all markets. Right. So this is so that we can get as many not transactions, but as many instances under our belt, and we will become better traders quicker. Okay, so in that regard, if traders come in here and say, well, I'm looking for 10 points in the S&P, then this webinar might not be so useful for you if you're always just looking for that. Okay, but if you're looking for an understanding an order flow event and understanding that can unfold not only for 10 points, but 20, 30, 40, 50, or even like 2 ticks. It is the same concept, and then this webinar can help you very much, okay, for anything that you're trading. All right, so anyway, look at the back and forth in here. We're looking for that move lower. It's gone down into, look at these little swings in here, and now we have quite a bit of buying come right back in, and we're right back to where we were. So haven't seen really much of anything, guys. Just really back and forth. Some pretty strong buying too. So it is looking pretty equal yet again. All right, so we were looking for that insight and that relative volume. We're seeing a response here by buyers taking it right back in, okay, which is your responsive buying. And there we are. Okay, let's see, what else did I want to cover? Oh yeah, we'll look at Market Pulse. I wanted to cover that in more detail because we have all these different algos to go through. But I also want to show you the update here, which I will update you guys on this. I don't have the link right now, but I will provide it in the Discord channel here. Okay, so if we go to the Bookmap Academy, now you need to be a Bookmap Academy member to get access to this. So you might want to consider becoming an Academy member. You'll get all sorts of advantages as an Academy member. Okay, so for example, let me show you. Under here, Bookmap Academy. Well, there's the chat rooms here, but there's also the education library here. Click on this. And what we have here is if you want access to Market Pulse, you can get it here. Okay, right here. And there's also the setups checklist here. So this is the one actually I wanted to go over. We covered the setups checklist, and I know a lot of you guys are using it here already, but you can download it here. All right, now just hold on, and I'll update it after this webinar, and you can download the new version, and the new version is what I want to show you. Okay, so play around with it and let's give us some feedback on it. I know I've seen content you guys using it already, and let's just go through a few of the details in here. One of the new features in here is to be able to collapse it because it's taking up quite a bit of real estate. So you can always have this on top here. Expand it and you get access immediately. Okay, so now this default file in here or your setup is based off of the Bookmap or the flag pattern or continuation pattern from the Bookmap Learning Center. Okay, so let me show this here so that you understand. All right, so go to bookmap.com. Here, let's see how we want to collapse it. Beautiful. All right, so go to bookmap.com, click on the More button, and then go here under Resources to the Learning Center. Here, this new course here, Strategies and Setups. Click on that. We have just one strategy in here right now, a continuation pattern, and it's called, we named it here the flag pattern because everyone knows what a flag pattern is. But it's really important to understand, again, first principles behind this pattern, and what it really is. It's understanding the strong momentum moves. And once you understand that, it opens up all sorts of things. There's all sorts of momentum or continuation patterns. There's, the flags, the pennants, the wedges, the triangles, the rectangles, whatever. Who cares? What you want to understand is a strong move, consolidation or pullback, followed by another strong move. That's really the crux of it, and you can weave this understanding into any of those patterns, and look for your own as well. All right, so by default, well, here's basically what we've done for that default list in here. Okay, so what we've done is we've taken the videos from this continuation flag pattern here, broken it into the first video here, which covers the diagram, what it looks like, the schematic here. Right, so just very, very simply going through it and showing what this looks like in diagram. All right, so then the next one here goes through what that diagram looks like in the real market. Okay, so we're covering the same content, but so you can see it here in the real market, the live market. Right, so understand what exactly it is you're looking for here. And the third one here is really where the rubber meets the road. This is about execution. So now same pattern, same diagram, just overlaid and going into now execution and this checklist in here. Okay, this checklist is what we offer here, not only in the resources section right below it here. You can see the checklist here. We've put it into a little app for you, and this is what shows up by default. Okay, so you play around with these sliders in here, measure, when you're looking for your flag pattern. Well, these are the things that you want to check off, and you want to start to grade them, score them, and get an overall score like an 8 or better. You've got a strong setup, and you're looking for that. Okay, like this one right here. Is this a flag pattern? Well, yeah, actually, I'm kind of looking for these buyers to to lift it maybe up into 65 here. Okay, right now. However, let's go through a checklist in here. First off, do we have a lot of trap traders? Okay, well, we're going to have some sellers in here that are trapped. That's good, but we don't have a consolidation period in here, right? We're looking for the trap traders in consolidation. So do we have some? We do, some. So we will put a check here, but we're going to grade it, and we're going to grade it like maybe a 4. It's not very good. Do we have a strong move, steep move here? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Is it strong volume? Yep. Strong relative volume? Yeah, let's give it an 8. Measured move. So the measured move is this move, and then being able to project it for the next move. And can we do that? And does it match with high liquidity? Not really. The measured move in here, if we take this line here and we duplicate it basically, and we move it, it's not bad, but we look for high liquidity somewhere up in here, right around 67, more or less. But we have 65 and we have 66, so it's not bad. Let's give it like a 7, 6 or a 7. And then what about a minor pullback in here? Do we have a minor pullback after the strong move? Okay, yeah, it's definitely less than half of this move. That's pretty good. We want that. Okay, see this strong move in here, and this pullback here, right? So now I know we're missing it here, but we were looking for this. I mentioned it before. It ticked off here that we're looking for this move up into here. We're just going through the process kind of as the move is unfolding. And I would also mention here that let's take a look here at the strong relative volume. Yeah, I would have been taking my profit up in this area in here. At least the majority of my, maybe have a runner on, because I don't know. But the majority of the position, I would take profit up in here. Now, again, this is not about trading. In this room, we're just talking about these in concept and understanding how to react to some of these areas in here, and we'll go through why that would be my actions up in here, okay, in just a minute as we go through this grading process. All right, so measured move, absorption by high liquidity. Well, we have yeah, the measured move is good, but the we said like a 6 or 7. I'd give it, now that I look at it, I'd give it a 6. Okay, the minor pullback, yeah, that looks pretty good. It's less than half of the move, okay, of this initial move here, and then look at the low volume on it. That looks really good, right? Look at this low volume, okay, compared to the strong move. Okay, so that's a good thing. So we can give that one like an 8, maybe even a 9. Okay, now when we had our trader review from the Bookmap Academy, some of you guys had created some content using this tool here, and which is great. And then there was a question though about like, well, how can you make this more objective? Well, you can't at the moment. Like, you're just going to have to go through the process yourself and through experience, and it won't take that long if you continue to really get into studying exactly what you're looking for here. You will be able to do that pretty quickly and be more objective about it. All right. What about entry here? Large volume after absorption or exhaustion. Well, we didn't really have that in here, right? So we'll check it off, but we're gonna score it very, very low. All right, so maybe like a 3. So see how it's just dark in here, and we didn't really have too much. Okay. Let's go through the next one. Steep, large price move and strong relative volume. Not bad in here. Okay, but again, into that high liquidity. Right, so we'll check that off, but we're going to give it like a 7. And then the target here, the measured move. Okay, well, we didn't quite have the full measured move, or it wasn't very good. And then the high liquidity area, yeah, it was before a measured move had unfolded. Okay, that is why I would be taking profits up here. Right, so there's reasons why, being objective about this. Okay, so hope that helps. And then exit. So that would be our target up in here, and then exiting high liquidity absorption and opposing traders. So we see some selling starting to come in here now. Right, so you wouldn't have gotten too much out of that move, but you would have gotten some. Right, you would have gotten a couple points out of it, and that's about it. So did we have the well, first off, we can stop here and our with our entry. Did we have something to justify here taking the trade? No, we didn't. Okay, it's not a strong trade idea. It's a 6. It's a 6. We're looking for an 8. Okay, so our steep move, our target, and then our exit here would yeah, be like a 4 or 5 as well. So anyway, you can see this wasn't a strong idea here. Okay, for looking for this continuation pattern. All right, now look at the performance of this continuation pattern here. Okay, it wasn't all that great. Okay, this has retraced the full way back down here and now bouncing out of a high volume node right here. Now look at the relative volume there. Look at the selling compared to the buying. Okay, it's not very clear. Okay, maybe we'll find a bit more buying and we'll come up a little bit higher here, maybe to 66. Okay, now if things change and we see a massive amount of buying, that's something different. If we see the bid light up and there's high liquidity underneath here supporting this trade idea, and they're pulling liquidity up in here, then that would be a different thing. We're not seeing that right now. All right, so one of the things here as well I want to show you with this new checklist, you can come up with your own criteria and use this tool here. So just make your own TXT file and import it. Okay, you can use Excel. It's comma separated values. You can also modify this one, or duplicate it, just copy and paste it, and upload it. Save it as a separate file, and then import. Okay, or if you wanted, you can export it, copy it, modify it, import it, whatever you want to do. But you have that capability so that you can show something. You don't have to go through our setup here from this Bookmap Learning Center. Okay, you don't have to do that. You can come up with your own criteria in here and whatever strategy that you follow. Make it up, and you've got this handy checklist right in front of you that you can grade, and you can really start to look for exactly your setup, and that should be helpful. Right, so you'll get access to this new version. If you already have access to this, which a lot of you guys do from the Bookmap Academy, then I just need to provide you the new download link. Okay. All right, and let's see here. Questions. Yeah, slow down. I see that as well. The support and resistance is gone. Let's see if I have access here. It's under the new name, order book pressure. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that. We're going to change the name. The name is a good change. So let me bring it up here. Yeah, it's now called order book pressure here. Thanks, Trader. Thanks, Alois. This is good. So the reason that we renamed it order book pressure is because we had volume pressure. Okay, so it makes sense here. We're looking at order book pressure compared to volume pressure. Volume pressure algo has been really handy, and I know a lot of you guys are making strategies around it. You don't see it in your drop down? Slow down? Okay. You should. Yeah, anyway, I'll try to update you guys with all of the Market Pulse and checklist algos. Also Trader Map Pro. Okay, there's new algos we demoed for Trader Map Pro. Okay. All right, let's jump into this algo here. And we'll go through use case scenarios here. A lot of you guys are using the volume pressure, which has been great. I think it's extremely handy extremely useful. So let's just go through. We'll start with that one here. And there's two: volume pressure and volume pressure imbalance. We'll start with volume pressure and press play here. And then we'll open up a new one in here as well and look for balance. All right. And let's close this up. Get rid of stops and icebergs for now. Guys, we're going to come up with some new default colors as well for these algos in here. So let me show you right now. Like right now, this is important because if I go here to okay, hold on. Actually, got to go back here and click on this one here. Yeah, it's actually here. It's underneath the sub chart here, right? So this is where should be able to change colors, etc. I'm a little confused here. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, you can do it here. On the buy side, if you want to, let's just use yellow or something here. Okay, and then on the sell side, for volume pressure, use a dark red. Okay, so now you can see we have two different algos running in here. We have volume pressure. Here, in fact, we just do it one at a time. Okay, so we just changed the colors and boy, the red and the orange is, or the red and the green is still showing here. Anyway, you're gonna be able to change the colors in here so that you can see a distinction when you're overlaying the different outputs here for each market pulse tool. All right, so right now you can see the different colors here for sellers and buyers for volume pressure, and then we also have that for if we turn on the delta, the volume pressure imbalance, then you can see the white color in here. Okay, so we're looking for where we get extreme readings in here. And I just wanted to show that we're overlaying basically the same information here. They're outputted a little differently. That's all. So it depends on which one you like. You know, you can see them individually like this, buyers and sellers in here. And when they cross the threshold, you'll see it in here. And the color of the buyers and sellers in here, right? Now, same thing here with volume pressure imbalance. When it crosses these thresholds, you'll see the colors in here as well. Okay, so this is going to be handy once you have, for example, not so much volume pressure. So we'll actually close that one. Is when you have maybe another algo in here that is, for example, the order book imbalance. And let's show it for the NASD or for the ES. And press play. All right. Okay, and I need to go to settings on that one, and we want to see the delta. And it's just loading. Now I know Crash F16 has been doing this. I'm using this here, so extensively. Okay, looking for extreme readings in here. So yeah, this has been really a great indicator. Well, both of these together is really pretty magnificent, because now you can start to look at the overlay of them, right, and find out who you're getting the reading from. If I hover over here, it does tell you here what you're looking at. So that's the volume pressure here. We got an extreme volume pressure reading here on the buy side. Okay? And we haven't seen anything on the sell side yet. Okay, the order book imbalance, we haven't seen anything extreme in the last few minutes. Okay, now we're getting it. Okay, so we just had some in here. If you hover over it, we can see what it is, and we had volume pressure again. Okay, so there's our extreme reading and volume pressure. Okay, so the way we've been using this and looking at this is so easy to go and back test in here. Is when you get these extreme readings, just look at it on the chart. How does it relate to context? Rob, this is the simplest way to kind of explain this for you for back testing. Now, and let me be kind of careful here the way I describe this. Just simply for back testing the volume pressure or whatever algo in Market Pulse. Let's actually just look at volume pressure, not order book pressure. Okay, you're getting extreme reading, and look at the context. Where is it happening? Okay, is it happening at the bottom of the range? Yeah, kind of, and that's good. We want to see that. Is it happening into or below the range here? Do we see stops after that? Do we see high liquidity underneath it here, absorbing? Okay, because we know there's extreme volume. Okay, but the context in here: first, market structure; second, liquidity. Okay, volume pressure we already know. Okay, we're getting extreme reading. All right, now, so different scenarios start to unfold from that. If you get these extreme readings and then you see buyers start to come back in here, okay, we'd be looking for our buyers right here. Okay, then we'd be looking for it to likely trade to the other side of the range, okay, up to 65. Okay, it's because we're getting extreme reading, but not enough to break the structure. For buyers, they'll trade it back in. And you can go back and test these again and again really quickly. Just look at the extreme readings. Where are they happening? How does it relate to the structure? How does it relate to the order flow? All right, here come our buyers. All right, buyers, lift it. Let's see the move right back up, and let's get an extreme reading on the buy side. Maybe back up into here. Okay, so anyway, this is one of the use case scenarios for using order book and, I'm sorry, volume pressure imbalance. Okay, now let's switch it up. Okay, now we're going to look at the order book pressure imbalance. Okay, so when do we see a lot on the sell side? Well, we're going to get an extreme reading. So in here, let's zoom in here and let's look at this order book. We go to the settings here on the heat map. Hold on. All right, here we go. Now, this is a fantastic tool to take a look at this order book in balance. Here's why. Look at the order book in here. Okay, you can see there is an imbalance. Okay, there's high liquidity in here, but it's been in here. So there really is no imbalance there based off of the market pulse indicator. Right, so nothing has really changed. This is already in the calculation. Okay, but look at how that we got that extreme reading here when we had this imbalance here. Now look at how subtle this is in here. Okay, the shades of blue in here. Now if you zoom vertically, you're not going to really see that, right? Okay, but you're getting an extreme reading in here. So what this tool is doing is allowing you to be zoomed out, but yet really look at the very fine details within the order book and balance. And that is invaluable. Okay, it's also, they're also pulling in here. So we're going to get another extreme reading if they're pulling on the bid. Okay, because there's going to be more on the offer compared to the bid, right? So we had an extreme reading here. Make sense? Right, so being able to use this on these without having to be zoomed in, right, is rather invaluable. Okay, so now remember we were looking at volume pressure imbalance down in here, and we're looking for the buyers to start to come in and move this to the other side of the range. Now we started to see them in here a little bit. Okay, it was more in here where we started to see them, so we're looking for the lift. Okay, and it really chopped around in here for a bit and didn't give us much insight until the buyers came in again here and then traded up into the range, top of the range here. Okay, however, from extreme to extreme, basically. Okay, so your management in here is questionable, right? Because there is a lot kind of going on in here. However, you know, that scenario we are looking for unfolded pretty nicely, and you're getting your extreme reading from here. And it does, you do get one here, right? Maybe up into that little area here, and that's where we're looking for. You know, trying to get into this after the volume pressure. Let me just go through the volume pressure imbalance. After these extreme readings in here, we're looking for reasons for it to go to the other side, and we're looking for the aggressors. Right, so this played out pretty nicely. And look at this now. We still haven't got the extreme reading here, to be honest, on the buy side. It's been all sell side here from volume pressure imbalance. Okay, so we're still looking for it to trade up into here. Okay, we had 15 contracts trade up here. That was it at 65. All right, we're looking for extreme reading to extreme reading. Anyway, Rob, let me see your question here, because I know this is your strategy. One of the things I know you look at. Okay, how did this fit into the flag pattern? Another piece of market structure you see. Right, doesn't retest the high volume node. Yeah, this setup in here. Here's your consolidation period. Here's your breakout. And I like this. You have some sort of structure up here, which is typical. This is now your high volume node, and you're looking for the move back to test that high volume node, and then continuation. You've looked at this again and again and again, Rob. So yeah, then I would say that or encourage you to make a strategy out of this, right? Develop your own checklist. Okay, because now what I don't like about it though is that this is kind of your last gasp here. This is strong. Typically this is usually a strong move to the upside, some sort of like a distribution pattern, small distribution pattern, a move back down to retest that high volume node, and then the bounce out of it. So this has retested a lot, and this is where you get the lack of clarity from this setup here. In my opinion, it happens in this area here. It's great that you're looking for the high volume node, right? And you're looking for a bounce off of it. But usually, or a lot of times, you'll see there's high volume on this move here, and there's equally high volume on this move here, and that doesn't allow for the clarity. That's my opinion. Right, so maybe this is where you'll have to kind of do your back testing and come up with your own strategy. If you see the high volume over here, and then you just see a little bit of volume over here, that's making it better already, right? So that relative volume that you're comparing in here. Okay? Other things that you can put into your setup are on the bid. Are they on the bid in here? Okay, are they supporting it? And do you have exhaustion here also by sellers? Okay, and then the big question is, do you see buyers strong buying coming back in again? And then I think you've got something that's higher probability. But that, again, I don't know. I haven't really back tested this one. I can talk about some experience and some of the things we've seen on the order flow, but this is something we have looked at, and we've seen it many times over, but we haven't looked into in terms of like a more detailed strategy. Okay, this is kind of, like I said, the last gasp for those buyers to remain in control here, because it's going to bounce off that high volume node. Right, typically what you can get in here is a flag pattern out of this little move here, maybe strong buyers, just like you had marked up here. You have a small pullback in here, and again, look for your strong buyers to come in, but it has to be strong. Okay, it has to be strong buying in here, okay? Because otherwise it'll fail and come back down the other way. All right, now one of the scenarios in this setup here that a lot of times we'll see maybe a small little bounce in here, and then sellers just come in hand over fist. And this is the pivot point here, you know, that high volume node. And if you see strong selling, in this area, and then you start to see those sellers come in again, they're going to move it typically. Okay, but that's something to look into as well. So I would encourage you, Rob, if this is something you really want to study and dig into in more detail, you know, we have this recorded, so you can go back and watch this again, but this would be another study, is to look for that relative volume. Maybe there's a little bit of buying over here, strong selling, a little bit of a pullback, small pullback here, and looking for strong selling again and moving this market. Because a lot of times what happens is you know, we have a big downtrending day, we have this happen, and then we get this kind of double top in here or something, and then it just fails to make a reversal, and the sellers blaze through that high volume node really quickly on down to the next level. Okay, and that's the danger of looking for buying in here on this strategy. Okay, so look for these. We just outlined many volume scenarios to look for. Mark it up you know, watch the recording, mark it up, and put that into your setup, and you can make your own setup in here and your own criteria. Okay, and then score them. All right. Oh, it can be a setup, Rob. It's a structure that you see a lot, but then what you're looking for is the criteria in a setup, or what we had just outlined. And you can look for that, and then when it starts to unfold, you put some risk parameters around it, and you have a setup, right? Just make sure that you've looked into like at least 20 different instances of this, and you know that you have an edge when you see this. Now start to track it. That's how you build a setup. Shark Baloo. You cannot see this or load this instrument. Yeah, that's because, let's see, you have I don't know what the issue is on that one. All right, guys. Well, I'll have to get back to you about this stuff on Market Pulse. I also don't have access to some of these things. and I have an updated version, and I still don't have access to some of them. Right. But anyway, I'll get back to you on that with the details. Don't worry, you guys are part of the academy, and you'll get access to it. I'll just update you in that, like I said, in this room here, the education library materials in here, Bookmap Academy. Okay, only academy members will get access to this room in here, so that's where you go. Okay, and you'll see the what to click on in here. All right. Let's see, anyone interested in that academy? Well, then just go to bookmap.com. Let me show you. Okay. Click on the more button here, and then Bookmap Academy is under community. Click on that, read through it here. You can apply, and then you need to jump over to our Discord and then give us also your request your spreadsheet. So we need to capture you both in email, and then we also need to capture you in Discord. Okay, it'll tell you where to go. You go to the Academy room, and then that's where you'll request it, the applicants room. All right. Well, no, the pulling and stacking is not JB. It's a good question. It's not transactions. It's just order book. It could be transacted liquidity as well, but it is reading that order book, and what you have here for that order book in balance. If we go here in the settings, you do have an extra setting in here, so you can weight the stacking or the depth here. Okay, you have typically most of the algos have these two: a training period and a half-life period. Training period means the amount of data that you're looking at. So in this case, it's 5 minutes. Sliding data, always a consistent, updated 5 minutes of data. The half-life period means the pullback, basically. So 10 seconds. So let's say 1,000 trade, and then nothing trades within 10 seconds. Now the reading won't be 1,000, it'll be 500. Okay, and then let's say another 10 seconds passes by and nothing transacts, or nothing is pulled from the order book, I should say, sorry, same order book, and nothing pulls, then that reading is also going to go down. Okay, not from 500, it'll go down to 250. Right, that's how it works. Half-life period for intervals, this means each tick. So the first 4 ticks will be the most important. The next 4 ticks will be half as important in terms of the calculation. And then next 4 ticks after that will be half of the previous one, etc., etc., etc. So the data closest to the market will have the more extreme, will have more emphasis and weight, right? All right, guys. Well, after all that explanation, we missed a nice move in here to the bottom of the range. I heard it popping off, but sorry. I really wanted to, explain some of these things in here for the order book and balance, and how to read it, and other details. How would I trail my trade, trail my stop if I'm shorting it right now? It depends. Caddy, like I actually am not looking for, I don't have big expectations for today. So, maybe I'd be out the majority down here if I was short up in here, and stop at break even and looking for this to, potentially run. If I see a lot of buyers come in on the other side and that relative volume in here, or the context with the liquidity in here, well, then why would I want to, have it work against me? I would likely exit the position. Not much for trailing stops, but I do like, me personally, I do like to use what Scott Pulcini does as well, is if he's in a trade and he sees another trade setup, let's say he's short and then he sees another short setup, he will get short again, but it is considered a different trade, a different different criteria for entry. And then he will move his stop from the previous one to where his new stop is based off of that new criteria. Okay, so it's a great way to leverage or to scale into your trades, right, and protect your risk. Yeah, okay, yeah, thanks, Alois. Yeah, this you can left click, hold, and drag the vertical white line here. The current market is to the right of it, and all the historicals to the left. You can, move it. This is as close as you can move it here. Okay, but maybe you want it a little bit bigger. You can just move it. Okay. Okay, sellers coming back in. Some extreme readings in there on volume pressure. Order book pressure, I'm sorry. Right from in here. Nothing on volume pressure though. Yeah, again, like, well, let's take a look. Let's, again, I really like this, the way that we covered the flag pattern, and this setup in here with the checklist. Okay, so we're leaning on, and we want this as a foundation, all of this previous activity and order flow, and we're grading it. Okay, and we're looking for some sort of setup in here. Okay, that's really the key. So if we take a look in here now, for current order flow and price action, what's happening? What's behind it? What can we lean on in here? Okay, well, not a whole lot at the moment. We see the strong, a pretty strong move to the downside. It also kind of had this little flag to it. A strong move, not much of a pullback, and then strong move. But look at the volume on the buy side come right back in. Okay, so that kind of negates this at that point. We're not looking for a continuation move here. If and then caddy, this was where you can continue, you could consider scaling into your trade on a pullback here, and then looking for if this was low buy volume. Okay, so a low volume pullback, and then we're looking for those sellers to come in again and then try to move this market low. Okay, we don't have it. It hasn't unfolded, so that's we're not looking for a continuation right now. Okay, it might unfold, just don't see it now. We have nothing to lean on in here, right? So why do we want to take a trade when there's nothing to lean on in here? Okay, none of this behavior in here is telling us that it wants to go lower right now. All right, so what do? You stay out of the trade. You're not looking for it. At least you're not looking for that setup. Boy, just not seeing much again today, guys. We were looking for the move up into 65. We got that, and then completely missed that. Yeah, it was also, yeah, it was up in here. Completely missed this as we were zoomed in and looking at something else and covering something else. So I'm sorry about that. But anyway, well, let's look again and see what we get in here. So we had another order book imbalance, or I'm sorry, volume pressure imbalance here on that buy side. Now look at this buy side volume pressure move here. This is not where we're looking for it, right? We're looking for it. Well, I guess you could look for it. This isn't something I've studied too much. We can look for it maybe in the bottom of a range, but we're looking for the continuation. And now what we would assume then is that we look for volume pressure to reach a high extreme here, back at the top of the range, so back to 6150 or so. Okay, so I don't see it unfolding now, but I do see a nice cluster of buying here. Okay, so are we getting anything out of this extreme reading down here? And we're trying to, right? So, well, what does the order book tell us? Okay, yeah, they adding on the bid here. Are they? We're not getting any order book imbalance yet. Okay, in fact, it's on the sell side. Yeah, so now we're getting extreme reading on the sell side here for order book pressure imbalance. Now it's extreme on the buy side. Okay, now we're looking for volume pressure imbalance here. Let's see if we can get it. If we can get our volume pressure imbalance now, then we're looking for the move up into 61. All right, here we go. Come on, buyers. Jump in the game here. There's a small edge in here, it looks like, for a move up into about 61, maybe higher, maybe 62 and a half. Okay, does that make sense, Caddy? Do you understand what we're covering and looking for in this small range in here? Now, again, this is not a trade recommendation. This is a starting point for a study, okay, of reading this and putting this into something more cohesive. And it's leaning on what we're the previous behavior in here that we were talking about. Okay, we didn't see anything in here except for noting that this little extreme right in here, and then like, okay, nice cluster here. Do we have an order book imbalance? Hey, do we have like a way for it to trade back up into 61 or 62 and a half? Okay, and we just had so we were foreshadowing that we would get an extreme reading up here on volume pressure. Okay, and then that would be the exit point, basically. Okay, once you start to see that. So we're looking for trading, not fading the volume pressure reading here. It's the opposite. Okay, we're looking for exiting on the volume pressure. Okay, and this order book imbalance pressure here was helping us determine if we're going to get those buyers to come in here and move this market higher. Okay, so we're up at 61 already, and we're getting a volume pressure imbalance. That's good, actually. I'm happy to see that. Just looking for a really quick sweep of the order book here now by volume pressure imbalance up into 62.5. Okay, and we're leaning on all of this buying in here to move up into here. Okay, makes sense. This is exactly what is behind our strategies here in this flag or continuation pattern. It's different, but it's the same process of understanding and leaning on all of this behavior in here that move to unfold. Okay, and then it's down to your risk analysis. Okay, where do you put your stop? Where do you place your targets? Okay, well, we're actually waiting for an audio on that target, and then also that high liquidity, some of these areas here. How do you look for exhaustion? Well, you're going to have to look for it in here. We're not actually getting a signal for exhaustion. Okay, we're getting volume pressure instead. So you're not going to hear your exhaustion here. What you would look for, though, is a lack of trading. Okay, it has nothing to do with the order flow. Exhaustion. This is all about the aggressor. Okay, so for exhaustion, we can take the book out of the picture, and here is your exhaustion right here, or a lack of selling down here. There's not much selling here, guys. Here's our move into 62.5, and we were looking for that volume pressure imbalance in here, right, to hit the threshold. Okay, so I would be exiting up here. All right, I have my reasons. I was looking for that move. I'm out. Okay, it may go another 10 points. Who knows? But those were my reasons, and that's what I was looking for. Volume pressure imbalance and exit on that up into the high liquidity at 62.5. Okay, exhaustion, Cathy, is a great one to look for, and this is actually a pretty good one right here. Okay, you have this exhaustion here on the buy side. It's kind of a in the in this little fractal here. It's not bad actually, but it's in this little bit bigger picture here. It's not really telling you much, but this is telling you something here. Okay, it's not so much. Yeah, it's telling you some here, but it's really telling you something here. Okay, when these buyers come in. Okay, because there is no market down here. There's no one, again, leaning on these buyers in here, and then the sellers aren't taking these guys on. Okay, so there's your exhaustion here. Basically, there were some transactions. You see the red dot. Okay, so that's the key here, right? And then you're looking for the buyers to come in again, and you're leaning on this buying behavior to take it upwards. All right, and then you're waiting for your extreme up here, and you're taking your profit. Okay, beautiful. All right, and then how do you feel about that trade now? All right, or that idea? Pretty good, pretty good. It worked out pretty well for you. In fact, this is where take your studies further, and look for something else in here, because you're getting your extreme market pulse reading up in here. Okay, so for example, the opposite trade, going short up here. Here's your structure. Here's a pullback to that structure. Here's your high liquidity. Here's your extreme market pulse down here, and look for those sellers to start to come in and trade it back down to other structural areas, or Rob, to your high volume node here. Okay, and then now wanting to hear market pulse again on the sell side. Okay, volume pressure, and we actually already had it here. Okay, so there's another structural area right here. So maybe you're just looking at that and taking some off here. Okay, didn't quite get to your high volume node, Rob, but this is another thing about your setup that you talk about, or this thing that you noticed here happens again and again. A lot of times what happens is it bounces off of the structure here, right? And that's a bit more bullish. Okay, both are not the most bullish here. Depends on that relative volume like we discussed earlier. But you know, if you get this really deep pullback like this, typically what happens is you get something like this and you get the pullback to there, right? There's a little structural element in there and you get the pullback to there. Okay, and then you get continuation, right? That would be one to look for. The other one is a bounce off the range here. So you'll get the same kind of structure like you drew, and then you get this. Okay. Now the weakest one is this one here because it pulled back further. Now buyers supported it down here, but yeah, this is what you'd look for. All right, so the move up, some sort of distribution, move back down, bounce off of it, and then maybe the continuation. All right, it's a great structure. I mean, you know, seen it for a long time. But this is really, in terms of auction market theory, if sellers blast through this area in here on a lot of selling pressure, they're going to move the market lower, typically, right? Because they have enough volume pressure to move it away from this whole area here. All right. Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, we covered volume pressure imbalance and order book pressure imbalance, and the combination of these two guys. It's really strong stuff, and something to look at into more depth. I know Crash F16's been looking at a lot of that. He's using these two. We covered it in the trader review as well last Wednesday for the Bookmap Academy. And Crash is in here, right? Yeah, there you are. Yeah, really nice stuff, Crash, by the way. So, all right, any more questions in here? How do you get CVD lines set that way? This is not CVD, this is the volume pressure imbalance for market pulse, Richie. Okay. All right, last questions, Rob, and then I've got to go. See, you're typing. Yeah, you can. That's fine, Rob. If you think that like you can see how the volume fits into this pattern, and you're looking for some sort of flag pattern out of that, that's excellent. I mean, look, I cringe when to be honest, like I hate calling this a flag pattern because what's behind it and what matters is the impulse move here and then like not too much selling. And then look for the impulse move to begin again. It's a continuation, and that can be used for so many different ways of trading. That's what's key here. I just call it a flag pattern in here. Don't get hung up on the pattern. Just look for, in the word flag, look for these elements and the momentum and the continuation. That's what's important. And then once you can understand that, it opens up everything. So what you're talking about in terms of, you could see it also within this idea here. Absolutely. So yeah, get to know and get to understand more of the elements within this flag pattern into detail. That's why we, a couple of weeks ago, we simplified it, and we're just looking for, we're not looking for a tradable setup. We're just grading the criteria and using the setups checklist here. We made our own for just looking at strong momentum moves. Right, there's only like 2 or 3 of these elements that we're looking for. You could do it here. You can modify it right now, and you can look at not so much trapped traders, but you could. But you're looking for a steep move, large price move, and large or strong relative volume, and then you're looking for measured moves, and then you're also looking at the liquidity, high absorption. Okay, and just look for that. Really, just it's these 2 in here. You might want to add in the third, so maybe the top 3. Just look again and again and again for that. Okay? The minor pullback is something else to look at. Okay? But understand those strong moves, and then that'll serve you extremely well moving forward. All right, so I hope that helps. And let's see, any other questions here? Yeah, slow down. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, I've seen this one. We've all seen this one a million times. It's that little area is so sensitive here. This little area right in here is so sensitive, and it's to be watched very, very carefully, because a lot of time, and the order flow in here is really, really important to watch. In terms of order flow, and we're talking about the limit orders in here, and that context between that and the aggressors in here is gonna tell us a lot. Because how many times have we seen this move and it just craters to the downside? Okay, so look for that actually, because these can be really nice moves, and you think you're getting in at a really bad area. You're not. You're getting in at a really good area actually, and it just continues, and you're in and you're already up pretty quickly. Right, but it's about understanding that order flow in this little critical area in here, and the market is very sensitive to it. Okay, so look for it though. All right, guys. Well, yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. We'll wrap it up. We'll call it a day. Just one more thing. Don't forget, grab this deal here. We only do this once a year, if that. Everyone always asks me about when can I get a discount, or do you have any special offers? Well, here it is, and it's a good one. You've got 3 months at 50% off. All right, or if you're new to Bookmap and you want to try it for the first month, you get 60% off. Okay, so yeah, please take advantage of it now. It's only running for 5 days, so it's going to end tomorrow. All right, so end of the day tomorrow, this will not be available any longer. Just would like to get you started in here and see if this adds. If you're not a Bookmap subscriber, see if this adds value to your trading. And then once you're up and running, come to that Bookmap marketplace. I'm sorry, the Bookmap Learning Center, and then go through the Getting Started course in here. We have the Market Mechanics course, which kind of covers those first principles that we had talked about. We have the strategies, we have the Getting Connected, and other stuff in here, as well as all of our events in here. All right, so there's that. We have covered the strategies and setups in here a bunch of times today. And then the Bookmap Academy, if you want to partake in that, then check that out from the More button here to Bookmap Academy. Right, so I know I can continue to go over these things, guys. I'm just trying to give you the pathways here, not just for the deal here in Bookmap, getting up and running, learning about these markets, understanding order flow, understanding certain strategies, what to look for in your strategies. This will make things much easier for you, and you'll start to understand trading at a much higher level, and you'll be looking for very specific things that'll really help your trading. And then we've got community here with this Bookmap Academy if you want to partake in that. All right, so thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Okay, yep, have a good day. Bye-bye.